You're now tuned in to The Twisted Truth with Corey Wesley, where everyday conversations take an unexpected turn. Entrepreneur, artist, author, and truth seeker, Corey Wesley is here to challenge the way we think, question the norms, and bring fresh perspectives to life, business, and beyond. With unfiltered discussions, special guests, and real talk, get ready for a show that's bold, insightful, and always a little twisted. Buckle up, because the truth isn't always what it seems. And now, here's your host, Corey Wesley. Welcome to another episode of The Twisted Truth with me, Corey Wesley. Thank you for joining. I apologize. It's been a minute since I have recorded an episode, and it's because I'm in transition of redecorating my home, and it's all over the place. Plus, I was in Vegas, went to see RuPaul's Drag Race, and I was with my bestie, John, and I haven't really had the inspiration, but I finally started to feel inspired because my normal recording area is in chaos right now, and so I wasn't feeling inspired. But today I am back, and today's topic is friendship. What does friendship mean to you? You know, I used to be Atlanta Housewives fan, but I haven't really watched it since Kenya's gone and Nini's gone and Candy. I'm part of the OGs, you know. But I've been hearing about Porsha and Shamea and how their friendship has been in a demise. And it brought me to thinking what friendship is. And I also was having a conversation with my cousin, and she and I were talking about my trip to Vegas, and I was like, it was really great. My friendship, we really got along and everything flowed, and it just seemed, I started to think about what would happen to my friendship if I did go on a reality TV show, right? And then I was like, well, would it really destroy my friendship like it's doing with Shamea and Porsha? And I don't know the ins and outs, and obviously I don't know these people. But in context of hearing what other people are saying and all these things, when people interject themselves into your friendship, and I believe that friendships are private. I mean, they all have their own, I guess you get something out of each friendship. So, for example, I have a friend that I don't speak to on a regular, but he and I, when we talk, I can talk about dating, sex, stuff that I don't want to talk to another friend about, or a friend that lives out of state, and we don't really have to speak every day, but I know that our friendship still exists, and we text now and then. We have a common bond about Beyonce, and we talk about, when Renaissance, we were inspired about the same time, and we had the same actions as far as like wanting to go to the concert, and we did both go to the concert separately, but we bonded over that, and now she's on another tour and we're bonding over that, but we don't have to speak on a regular basis, but he's still a friend of mine. And I just feel like you receive different things from different people. But in this context of hearing about Shamea and Porsha, it's saddening that they seem to have had a friendship, but the more that I learn about their friendship, and the things that people on the outside, and obviously outside people don't know about, the ins and outs of a friendship, right? But I do say all the time that people not engaged in a friendship who are on the outside can see more or less what's happening. And it's up to, and sometimes it's hard to hear So, for example, like Cynthia was saying, like, Shamea was saying that she, it was one sided. Porsha hadn't been attending certain events and things of that nature. And and I think Cynthia Bailey made a great point where she was saying that if you're going to give to a friend or you're going to do something nice for a friend, you can't expect that in return. I think sometimes we as people expect our friends who we feel are friends um that they're supposed to do exactly as we're supposed to do, and that's not true, and that's a misconception. um my friend might give gifts all the time, and maybe I'm not financially able to give gifts all the time, so I, that, but it doesn't mean that I love that friend less. Maybe I always cook when my friends come over, but when I go to my friend's house, he never has anything in the refrigerator. I don't know, I'm just giving um context of that you cannot judge how you do for someone on how they do for you. You have to look at, I guess it's almost like we have what's called love language when we're dating. They have, I used to write about dating, and I used to say that there's something called dating in the dark, like when you are dating people and you don't know your dating identity. Meaning, so for example, someone may not want a monogamous relationship, but you're dating someone who has a um idea that they want to be in an open relationship. If they say that to me right off the bat, why am I going to pursue that person? We have different ideas of what dating is. So if you don't ask the pertinent questions in those scenarios, you would be then eventually dating in the dark. I believe that we all have friend identities. Now, yeah, I am a friend who likes to entertain and have my friends over, and I have cheese, uh, the cheese platters and the wine, and I like doing that. But I don't expect that same treatment when I go to my friend's house, who, if they're not entertainers, if that's not what they do, and I go and because I did it, I it's wrong of me to expect when I'm going to their house that they're going to do exactly the same. Now, hopefully, yes, we have common ideas of certain things. Yes, certain friends who like to go party and hang out, and drink, and maybe you have friends that don't drink, or, oh, I have a great example. You have the friends that, because you go to a bar and they say, I got it, I got you, right? But now you're standing around waiting for them to buy a round of drinks, right? And now you feel slighted because you brought rounds of drinks, but they went to the bar. They didn't ask you if you wanted a drink, and now you are in your feelings in some kind of way that, oh, well, I brought you a drink, you ain't brought me a drink. That's not how that's supposed to go. And I believe, like Cynthia Bailey had said, when going back to Porsha and Shamea's a friendship kind of thing, is that is true. You cannot expect people to do to you as you do unto them. Yes, you want them to treat you a certain way with respect and honor, but there's something called, I was watching some video, they call it bids, small little bids of affection or noticing things. And I think we take for granted certain things. This woman, I forgot what I was watching, but she was talking about in relationships, there's these small bids where if your partner comes in and they say, oh, I'm so tired and I'm hungry, and they're like, oh, well, let me heat you up something to eat. Those small indications are kind of really nice. Or you walking in the door and you got packages and you're struggling, and now your partner jumps up and says, oh my God, let me help you. Those are small bids of kindness. And so those, I believe, you should kind of see pay attention to. It's almost like if you have a friend who say, "Oh, um, I'm so tired," and then they don't ask you how your day was, or they don't really care to know. They just sit there, and then that builds resentment. And I can see how if you have a friend and you have birthday parties and they don't show up. Yeah, I agree that at a certain point you have to evaluate, well, maybe that friend does not see me of value. I do say that now, yes, if they're missing big events and you're considering this person to be your best friend or your ride or die, or you assume you're closer than you are, yeah, then I say you have to pay attention to those things to say, well, I invite this person all the time to my birthdays. I go to theirs. They're never showing up. And yes, financially, some people may not be able to, but what if it's an open bar and whatever, and there's no cost and they're still not showing up, or they're making excuses? Yes, then you have to reevaluate, oh, well, maybe I'm valuing this friendship more. I always say, I I play friendship like a tennis ball, like a tennis game. I hit the ball, meaning if I make a phone call, I leave a message, and you don't call me back for 4 or 5 days, guess what? I'm not, when you call me, I might not return your phone call for about 6, 7 days. That's just how that goes. It's also, it may sound petty, but it relieves me from having anxiety and stress of a friendship. Friendship to me is where you get something from them, that they bring you joy in some context, where they, where you just, you, I don't know, where you just feel like, you know you have a good time with them. They bring you joy. There's just no anxiety, or I used to be that type of person where, oh, they don't call me, I call them all the time. Well, I'm the one initiating those calls. I'm creating my anxiety. I'm the one doing that stuff. So then what I've learned is stop doing those things. Um, people make efforts for what they want. And this is where I'm thinking like, oh, how would a friendship dissolve so quickly in a reality show? Once on a reality show, would my friendship sustain? And I believe that you these toxic or imbalances are already in existence. Like when I was talking about Shamea and Porsha, those imbalances of her going to an event, her not showing up, like Porsha not showing up to Shamea's events or whatever, or Shamea not having a peach or whatever the context is, and now their friendship doesn't seem to be the same. Those imbalances, as I believe what Cynthia said, this was already there. It's not something that the television or the cameras, I think, created or exasperated. I believe that those things are there. So you have to look at your friendships, and sometimes I believe that we put more expectations on friendships, because I used to tell people, guys, if I was dating them and then we were breaking up or whatever, and then they wanted to be friends, I was like, I don't want to be friends with you. You couldn't even be a partner. I have more high expectations for my friend than I do my partner, which is actually true to some extent. But what I would say to that is I've kind of slowly changed that, because your friendships or people that are close to you take you for granted more than a stranger. And unfortunately, I think that sometimes we have to show others how we would like to be treated. Now, in the context, like I said, I don't know these women, I don't really care. But like I getting a just that one person was doing more for the other, although the other person thought they were doing enough. And that's, again, their friendship identity. This is what, hey, girl, I see you when I see you. I come when I want. You got money. I got money. I'm living. I'm doing shows. You doing your thing. I'm not worried about you. Not worried about me. I'm not worried about you. But see, the other person now saying, "Oh my God, that's my bestie." Now, see, in one person's head, "Oh my God, that's my bestie," and the other person, well, yeah, that's a good friend of mine. Yeah, mm-hmm. See, and they don't even have the same idea of what their friendship is, and that's why I always say you have to watch what other people are doing, and how they treat you. If it doesn't make you feel good, then I wouldn't. And not that I wouldn't put effort into it. I give people what they give me, you know. And I think what happens sometimes when we're in friendships, we label them like, "Oh my God, that's my bestie." Well, did y'all have a discussion? And some people used to laugh at Cynthia with this what was it, a friend contract? This is why she had it, because now, as I had just a aha moment in this conversation with you, is, yeah, it sounds silly to have a friend contract, but what it does is basically what I was saying, is about defining your friend identity. Oh, wow, yes. I want to see if you value or your expectations of a friendship is the same. Now, Nene, in this scenario, as I'm talking about the Atlanta Housewives for a second, and this friend contract that Cynthia Bailey had given to Nene years ago. I forgot what season, but anyway, that's irrelevant. But the ironic thing is now Nene thought it was weird, right? And then she went and told everybody, and it was odd to her. That would have been my indication already that she doesn't have the same friendship identity. And see, then I would not have gotten my feelings hurt like Cynthia over time got her feelings hurt because Nene did not, I guess, re um return the friendship, or what had a certain expectation of the friendship. And that's where I believe the demise of a friendship goes. So I believe that sometimes we, on our own internal thought process, we think of friendships and we label them internally, but we don't know if they are reciprocating that same thought, not the action, but the same thought. Because sometimes I feel like the actions that are being reciprocated is already an indication of what the person thinks of you, you know. Um, and sometimes some things don't need to have a conversation. I think sometimes it's embarrassing for me, I think, now as I've gotten older, that when I see a friend that I thought was a friend, that maybe not extending themselves as much, or doing things that may represent that, oh, well, maybe we're associates, close associates. My grandmother once said to me, everyone doesn't, you're very lucky if you have more than one friend in life. We, as young, in my generation, I think we used to use the term friends too loosely. That's what my grandmother used to say. She said they're associates, and you can have close associates, but friendships are those that are non-judgmental, that don't have a a tug of war of, oh, I did this for you, now you didn't do this, or you didn't show up at my party, and now you're not at my party. Friendships already, those people who are your ride or die know, oh, it's a birthday, I gotta be there, gotta be at Corey's party. All right, they make every provision. They know it's the same day every year, so they already have it on their calendar. So there is no chance. Now, yes, things happen, deaths, family, people go on vacation, excuse me, and stuff like that, but you have to weigh out what how you feel about the person, how they're making you feel. Friendship evolves. I think sometimes we think that, just like when you're in a relationship, I always say everything has an expiration date. And sometimes friendships have an expiration date for a reason, a season, and a lifetime. Some friendships are not meant to continue. And I think we try to force them. And sometimes the realization of one person getting hurt is the fact that they put more investing in that friendship than the other person. And there was already an indication, like I said earlier, as I brought up Cynthia Bailey talking about Shamea and Porsha on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, is that, this is deep rooted. This is not new just because the cameras came on and Shamea just got a peach. That doesn't, and see, I don't even watch the show and I already got a whole synopsis of what's going on. And I just feel like I said, I don't know these women, but I really think that friendships are sacred. One, you shouldn't allow other people in to tell you about those relationships, although sometimes the information is informative or insightful, because sometimes we're turning a blind eye to certain behaviors that that one person might be excusing as acceptable, and as outsiders looking in realize that ain't what a friend is supposed to be. And sometimes we need that other friend who is your ride or die to kind of say, that's not cool, and stand up for you. Because sometimes it's hard to just, friendships have an expiration date, and they evolve and they change. And sometimes people hold on to friendships that don't need to be held on to. And that it goes into being able to let go and identify how that person is making you feel, and not what other people are saying. You cannot always trust what other people are saying. Now, I will say, like I said, and it sounds like I'm contradicting, but yes, some people see things that you don't see. So you also have to figure out the source, where the information is coming from, and really, 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 really try to go within and figure out, did I just allow certain behaviors? And I believe in this situation between Porsha and Shamea that there was behaviors that were just turned a blind eye, and they both had a different idea of what their friendship was. And now it's just being heightened on national television. But when it comes to friendship, it's something that is sacred, but it does not mean that you're going to be friends forever. Friendships end. And I think if you have that inclination, and if people are treating you in a way that you don't like, then it's time for you to do some soul searching and pull back. I always say it's a game of tennis. If I hit that ball back, see what comes back. Does not mean you did not play the game well because the ball didn't come back. You were in the game, you played it, but you have to also, and I hate to say that you have to have a strategy, but you also have, so that you protect your space. I'm in a namaste state, but I'm protecting my space. And so if someone's not making me feel good, I don't care how long I've known them, I'm going to protect my space. I'm going to give them what they're giving me. And sometimes it also, when you give people what they give you, it actually helps you not get your feelings hurt. And honestly, the person who might not see you as a valuable friend, or sees you as just a close associate, that it's not a true hard die investment, you might treating them that way, or giving them what you're receiving, makes it all the best and easy, because they're not even thinking about it and they don't even see the change. And matter of fact, you might feel like, oh, good. I don't have to try so hard. Because sometimes I think we try too hard to maintain friendships, and I don't think that's necessary. So, what does friendship mean to you? I would love to hear it. Leave a comment. Um, I just had this thought about friendship, had a conversation with my cousin, and I just thought I'd get on, and I hadn't posted in a while, so I wanted to just talk about friendships. Again, remember to stay blessed, and you're already blessed, and remember to love yourself, trust yourself, and believe in yourself. Have a good day. That's a wrap for this episode of The Twisted Truth with Corey Wesley. If you've enjoyed today's conversation, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share the show with someone who needs a fresh perspective. Remember to stay curious, stay bold, and always remember this: the truth isn't always what it seems. Until next time, keep thinking, keep questioning, and keep twisting the truth. See you soon.